On this week's City Skylines 2 o'clock, more trailer talk, known features in the new game, map size discussion, release price and system requirements, and this week's special guest, Cities by Diana.
Hello.
Hello Diana, how are you doing this week?
Doing well. It's nice to be here again.
It's absolutely brilliant. It's been an absolutely brilliant week this week for news. I'm lucky to have you along because, first of all, there's the trailer. Be interested to hear what your initial thoughts on the new trailer were.
My initial thoughts, and this is going to sound weird, but it looked exactly like I expected it to. I don't know why, but it looks great. It looks like this is their vanilla base game. So it looks like stuff that we could do in a highly modded version. And I think that's what a lot of people have wanted. And that's really all I have to say is it looks nice.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you. It looks like what it should look like. This is the thing. It's almost dumb saying it. They could have done a complete overhaul of the game. And they haven't. They have, but they've kept it familiar, and that's absolutely key. And I think it's going to really help, but both new players and anybody who's experienced just to be able to get straight back in. So anyway, well, we've had quite a few little revelations in the last 48 hours, coming directly through Colossal Order. So yeah, I'm going to throw a few of these features at you. You probably will know them all already, but let me know what your thoughts are. First of all, the traffic AI has had a complete overhaul. It will be far more dynamic, with traffic able to make decisions on the fly, being able to, if there's a traffic jam, get into a different lane, maybe even take a different route, I don't know. They'll even move out of the way for emergency vehicles. And your first thoughts?
I think it's great. I think it's very much needed. Hopefully it'll solve that whole thing of everybody lining up in one lane to get off at one exit. And I think that now that we've got some better technology out there and they put a lot of thought into it, that's all I have to say. It's going to be nice.
Oh, absolutely. I think using the multiple cores is going to be a big advantage, because that was a big hold up on the old game, just using the single core. Anyway, the next thing is that citizens are going to be far more meaningful, in as much as we're being able to track them a lot more closely than previously, where I felt that they were only spawned to do a journey.
I love that. I love that so much as a player of the game and as somebody who creates content around the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a fun sort of storytelling element to the game that will enable people to tell their own stories, to follow the lives of the people that actually live in the city. And like you said, it kind of felt like before the citizens just spawned to do a journey.
Yeah, indeed.
The fact that they're going to have like a full life cycle, oh yeah, it's already given me ideas. That's all I got to say.
Oh yes, don't spoil me anything that's going to be on your channel, because I love surprises from your channel.
I'm always coming up with new surprises.
Oh yes, I love it. Right, so next, this has been long overdue and everybody's been screaming for it, but mixed use zoning.
Mixed use zoning.
Yeah, residential and commercial sharing a zone.
Yeah, we've needed that for a long time. There's things that you can do with mods where you can download an asset where it's like a building in two parts, and the bottom part is commercial and the top is residential. It'll be nice to see to what extent we can do that mixed use. Is it going to just be commercial on the bottom, residential on the top, or are we going to be allowed to add offices, for example, to the top, or maybe half of the base is residential, half is commercial, stuff like that. So it is exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing how much depth there is in that.
Ah, yes. Now, speaking of depth, the economy is going to be a lot deeper. But apparently it's also going to be very user friendly. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be massively challenging, like it certainly with the early stages of Cities Skylines 1, your city build. Once you got to a certain size, money wasn't an issue. But with this one, it'll have a huge amount of depth, but only really if you need to go into a lot of depth because you want to.
Yeah. So the economy in simulation games has been like that. In SimCity, it was ridiculously easy to make money once you learned how to play the game. In The Sims, you either use a cheat, or once you learn how to play the game, that money just comes. Same with Cities Skylines, like the money comes. So when financial districts came out, I don't think I've ever used the stock trading. I literally bought it for the buildings, and I didn't see the depth to it. I mean, it's like a fun mini game, but if there is a deeper economy in the second part, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean for how you make money? What are the stakes behind it?
Yeah.
You know, what do you have to win and lose from that? So that's something that I'd love to know.
Well, we haven't got too long to wait, counting down the weeks now. Air pollution, we had pollution before, and you could assume it was in the air, but now it literally will be carried by the in-game wind. So you've got a breeze coming from the ocean. Maybe you're going to have to think about where you put your residential districts.
I love that. I love that whole idea of just like a more realistic pollution system. Like right now, you just put a house next to a factory and it's going to die. But what about after that radius that just sort of spreads around in a circle or whatever? Doesn't matter. Once you're past that, you're done. But like you said, like if the wind is coming from a certain direction, then you have to watch out for that direction. But what does that mean about stuff that's not downwind of the pollution? Maybe we can place stuff closer together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's groundwater. There's not too much information on this one, but it does sound like it's going to be a lot more complex than just plopping down water towers. So yeah, maybe it would be like almost like a resource on its own. Some places you won't be able to get groundwater, others you will.
Again, I like that. I think it's way more realistic in the IRL, the real life. You don't just drill into the water, and you don't just drill into the ground anywhere and expect there to be water. Like, you have to know where it is. You have to look for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's also very cool. I do have some reservations about that in the sense that could increase the challenge for new players even more. But again, I always felt like, why build a water pump when you can build 2 water towers? Especially if you're playing like easy mode.
Well, talking on realism, now with the maps, it looks like they will have real life latitudes and longitudes, which will affect the weather cycles and the seasons. So we could, if you're West Coast, aren't you? So you will have a completely different climate there than from the East Coast, and we've got a different climate over here in Europe. So yeah, that'll be interesting. The actual map location will affect the weather.
I love that. That's the coolest thing, and that's something that, as you make maps, as the map making community comes in, I hope that there's a lot of customization with that you can make like, excuse me, that you can make like fantasy maps. Like maybe it's on another planet where things are totally different. I hope that there's some level of messing around with that.
I'm sure there will be. Okay, map size. Now it was released that there are going to be 441 tiles. But apparently these can be unlocked in any order. It doesn't have to be consecutive tiles that are next door to each other. You can buy 2 or 3 that are together and then a few that are over the other side of the map. So it looks like the unlock order is going to be completely free will now, which is nice.
I love that. I think that's going to the thing I like about that is it enables you to create more of a region than just a city. Like you're creating 2 or 3 different little towns here and there, and as you unlock the tiles, that's going to affect the decisions that you make and how you grow your city. Maybe you made 2 towns at the edge of the map, and then they grew together. Or maybe you made 1 giant city in the middle, and then you wanted to build something else. I like that extra freedom. I play with 81 tiles, so I do that anyway. But to have that in the base game, no mods, ready to go, vanilla, amazing.
Well, in terms of, because we were speculating on, 441 tiles, but how large are the tiles? Colossal Order have now confirmed that the actual buildable size will be 159 square kilometres, which in old Cities Skylines terms, going on some of my back of the beer mat mathematics, it looks like it's about 6.5 tiles by 6.5 tiles on the old game, which is smaller than an 81 tile map. But that is the maybe there are extra tiles that can be unlocked using mods, because again, the old vanilla base game, you could be talking about 25 tiles, but outside of those 25 tiles are a whole bunch of extra tiles. Was it another 56? I think. Forgetting my maths now. But so I'm hoping that we've got more than the equivalent of a 6.5 by 6.5 buildable area. But
yes,
you never know.
A smaller map, a smaller total map will this is just my opinion. It extremely devalues the purchase price by quite a bit. So, yeah. But I've heard that is just the vanilla unlockable map. I've heard rumors that the overall map is a little larger.
Yeah.
So I hope that's the case. But if it's smaller than what you get on PC with mods, that defeats the purpose of saying it's bigger and better. Like that's the only real drawback I've seen so far in the game that would make me feel like, okay, I'm not too thrilled about this.
Yeah. Again, using beer mat mathematics, 159 square kilometres divided by 441 tiles would mean that each tile would be 600 metres by 600 metres, which is quite small.
Yeah, that's not very big.
No. Anyway, right. Well, that's all of the features that have cropped up in the last few days. Let's briefly fly over the system requirements. I'll quickly fly over them. So we've got a Windows 10 as a minimum. Then processors, the minimum would be a i7 4790K or an AMD Ryzen 5 1600X with a recommended of an i7 9700K or an AMD Ryzen 5 5600X. For memory, it's a minimum of 8 gigabytes with a recommended of 16. For graphics, a minimum of an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 780 3 gigabytes or an AMD Radeon RX 470 4 gigabyte, going up to a recommended of the NVIDIA 2080 Ti 11 gig or the AMD Radeon RX 6800 XT 16 gigabyte, and the sound card is to be confirmed. So I would say most of those are well within most people's system specs.
I have no idea. I don't know anything about the tech end of computers. I just know that that Cities Skylines 1 required a lot of RAM.
Yes.
To do modded. I'm expecting this is probably going to be something similar. But from what little I do know, those seem reasonable. I think I'm looking at my computer trying to figure out what I have. I think I'll be able to run it.
Well, when I set up the my channel, I bought an i7, which was now, I mean, what, 8 years ago now? I don't know. So I'm just track. So I bought an i7. That's still my backup computer. So if that was what I bought to play City Skylines on all those years ago, it's plausible that most people. I know there will be some that don't, that are running a potato, but I think a lot of people will be pretty well covered.
Yeah. I used to run modded City Skylines on an absolute potato. I don't know how I did it. I still play on a laptop, but it's a gaming laptop, so it's a little better now.
Yeah, bless you. Right, okay, now let's move on to the price of City Skylines 2. I'm going to give the prices in both UK pounds and US dollars. If you're somewhere else in the world, great for you. It's 41.99 British pounds, 49.99 US dollars. Or then you have the ultimate pack, the ultimate edition, which would be 74.99 British pounds or 89.99 US dollars. I suppose let's talk the base game prices first of all. So $42 or $50. What are you thinking there?
I have mixed thoughts on this. Number one, we're all used to having paid, I think I paid $10 for the base game of City Skylines, maybe 20. We're all used to that because it's such an old game.
Yeah.
But almost every new kind of big AAA game is within this price range. So it's fine. It's what's to be expected of if you buy something right out the gate, first day of release, brand new, you're going to pay a little more. This is probably going to go on sale at some point in the next 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is. I do understand 5-6 years of development has gone into this game. They've been working on it for a while.
Yeah.
That costs a lot.
Oh,
obviously, you got to run a business. You got to stay in business, and you got to fund developing future projects. You got to fund developing new content for it, and justify keeping it alive and maintaining it and maintaining the first one. So it is what it is.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one. As a base price for a AAA title, which basically Skylines is now, it's the market leader. That is, I think, about the right pricing. Then we got the Ultimate Edition, where for the Ultimate Edition we will get access to Bridges and Ports DLC, the San Francisco set instant download, the Beach Properties DLC, 3 radio stations, Deluxe Relax, Soft Rock and Cold Wave, along with 2 content creator packs, which I'll briefly cover in a moment. But what are you thinking on those as DLCs? And yeah, well, what's your thoughts?
Look, I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, so of course I'm going to buy the San Francisco pack. Come on.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think an extra $40 is quite a lot. I don't know what's coming with it. Personally, I never buy the radio stations. I don't use them. I just don't. I have other stuff on in the background, but hey, maybe they're cool. Who knows? But I wish there was an option to kind of a la carte that, because I know at least on Steam when you download the DLC bundles, the radio stations are always included, and so then they end up being maybe a couple dollars more than just buying everything single. So it's not really worth it to buy the bundle unless you absolutely want the radio stations. But that's okay. I think I'm probably going to buy it, but I think they have to. I think I'd want to see more of what exactly are they bringing into it with that before I make a judgment on, how much is this? This is too much or whatever. It is a lot, though. It is kind of a sticker shock.
Yeah, it is a chunk. I mean, $40 US, or was it 33 British pounds extra on top for something that you don't really know exactly what you're getting is a chunk. Now, there are 2 content creator packs coming with those as well. Urban Promenades and Modern Architecture. Now, they haven't announced who's actually producing these content creator packs, but I'm going to speculate, and please, you guys in the comments, let me know who you think it's going to be. But Urban Promenades sounds very much like Smiley's territory to me. And Modern Architecture, I think we're looking at Lumino. Your thoughts on the content creator packs and any ideas for who you think might be producing them?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm not super plugged into like all of the content creators when it comes to assets. I know a few of them. Like, I know that they have been selecting a new asset maker for everyone, but I really wouldn't have the slightest idea as to who is going to be that person. Either way, it's exciting.
Yeah, I've got to say, of the extra content that is coming, Bridges and Ports, yeah, nice. Beach Properties, yeah, okay. San Francisco, if you want to do a San Francisco build, spot on. I'm with you on the radio stations, but the content creator packs, Modern Architecture and Urban Promenades, I think they are both definitely big wins for me. So yeah, that for me, I think is a bigger part. And then of course we'll have all of the new workshop content. I hear there's already a promise from Revo with to have some trains up on the workshop on day one. So yeah, there's a lot coming, and I just can't wait to see what the creators as well as the game has in store.
Me too. I really hope that some of the best sort of popular, well done Cities 1 assets get ported into number 2 from the makers, if they can. I'm not an asset maker. I don't know how much work that takes into it, but there's some stuff that I'm just like, this is beautiful. I use this in every single one of my builds. Hopefully there's some sort of way to bring that into the second game.
Right, well, we're bang on the end, so do you want to say goodbye? You've got 5 seconds.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for being here.
And I will talk to you again.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very, very soon.